The announcement that President Donald Trump plans to relocate the United States Space Command (USS SPACECOM) headquarters from Colorado Springs, Colorado, to Huntsville, Alabama, is stirring significant debate, and for good reason. This move not only reverses the prior decision made under the Biden administration, but also highlights deeper political, strategic, and economic implications that many may overlook. To understand why this matters, it helps to first grasp what U.S. Space Command is and why its location is so critical. USS SPACECOM is a specialized joint military command that operates independently from the U.S. Space Force military branch. Its primary mission centers on maintaining national security operations in outer space, including managing satellite systems, missile warning networks, secure communications, and vigilant tracking of orbital debris and potential hazards to U.S. and allied spacecraft. In essence, U.S. SPACECOM keeps a watchful eye across the heavens to protect critical space-based assets. But here's where it gets controversial. When Trump initially revived U.S. Space Command in 2018, Huntsville was considered as its headquarters. However, those plans were disrupted during President Biden's term when the decision was made to keep the command in Colorado Springs. Trump openly criticized this, claiming, "We initially selected Huntsville for the SPACECOM headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration." He also leveled pointed criticism at Colorado's political landscape, specifically targeting its adoption of mail-in voting, suggesting it as a key reason against placing the command there. A claim that is hotly debated, given that several Republican-led states also allow mail-in ballots. Unsurprisingly, officials from Colorado did not take kindly to the announcement. Governor Jared Polis labeled the move as a waste of taxpayer dollars and a disruption to military families who would face the inconvenience of relocating. Colorado boasts a rich aerospace heritage and significant local jobs tied to the Space Command, with nearly 1,400 positions and an annual economic impact he estimates at $1 billion. The decision to relocate, therefore, has profound economic and social ramifications for the region. But this isn't just a simple matter of geography and economics. It's also deeply entangled with military readiness and strategic national security concerns. The choosing of a permanent location for U.S. SPACECOM has been a tug-of-war since its modern reinstatement. Originally, Colorado Springs served as a temporary site, while other cities were being evaluated for a permanent base. In 2021, the U.S. Air Force recommended Huntsville, citing it as the most cost-effective and strategically sound choice based on several factors: mission alignment, infrastructure capability, community backing, and quality of life for personnel. However, the Government Accountability Office, GAO, later flagged deficiencies in the Air Force's decision-making process, questioning its transparency and credibility, raising concerns about how these critical military choices are made. When President Biden took office, he sided with recommendations favoring Colorado, particularly those from then SPACECOM Commander, General James Dickinson, who warned that moving the headquarters could negatively impact military preparedness during the transition. This disagreement ignited backlash from Alabama's political leaders, who had long campaigned for the command's relocation. Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama emphatically stated in 2023 that he would keep fighting until the move was realized. He was flanked by Senator Katie Britt when Trump announced the decision to relocate, highlighting a bipartisan lobbying effort rooted in regional pride and economic interests. More scrutiny came from congressional leaders last year when the Armed Services Committee requested an evaluation of the relocation decision by the Department of Defense's Inspector General. The resulting report, published earlier this year, concluded that establishing a temporary headquarters in Alabama comparable to Colorado's existing setup would require 3 to 4 years, potentially disrupting operational capabilities. Yet, Air Force officials persisted in their support for Huntsville, underscoring favorable cost projections, including a $426 million savings, according to the initial evaluations that factored in potential risks. Even further, investigators could not definitively explain why Biden's administration rejected the Air Force's initial recommendation, leaving room for speculation about political motivations or other unexplained factors. What's more, according to GAO reports, USS SPACECOM has encountered ongoing challenges with personnel, infrastructure, and communication systems in Colorado, suggesting that a move could potentially resolve some of these issues. It is important to note, however, that the transition risks logistical and readiness disruptions, a fact of critical concern within military strategy discussions. The stakes surrounding USS SPACECOM's location are heightened by the growing urgency to maintain technological and strategic superiority in space amid global competition, especially with China's rapidly expanding space program. Chinese President Xi Jinping has prioritized space as a symbol of national power, making space dominance a central aspect of international military rivalry. A 2023 memo from SPACECOM leadership highlights the need to stay ahead, stating, "We cannot afford to lose any time or effectiveness against this threat." Historically, Space Command's roots in Colorado Springs extend back to the Cold War era, with its headquarters based at Peterson Air Force Base from 1985 until 2002. After a period of organizational restructuring and merger with U.S. Strategic Command, Trump's 2018 decision re-established U.S. SPACECOM as a standalone command. Both Colorado Springs and Huntsville are hubs of aerospace innovation and defense manufacturing, hosting major defense contractors like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, and L3 Harris. Huntsville, often called Rocket City, boasts the legendary Redstone Arsenal, a significant Army base with a rich history dating to World War II, and NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. Underpinning its aerospace leadership, Governor Polis emphasized Colorado Springs' identity as a proud military community anchored by vital national security missions, advocating for transparency and detailed explanations behind Trump's decision. Similarly, Colorado Senator Michael Bennet stressed the deep integration of civilian industry and workforce that supports the current command infrastructure, cautioning against the simplistic expectation that these individuals will just relocate with the military. As for the concerns about personnel willingness to move, Trump dismissed them by suggesting any reluctance to relocate would simply be addressed by bringing in new staff, a stance that raises its own questions about continuity and experience within the command. This debate begs several provocative questions. Should military decisions of this magnitude be influenced by political considerations or regional voting policies? How do we best balance cost savings against operational readiness in critical defense functions? And finally, what message does this send to the workforce and communities that sustain our national security institutions? These questions are anything but settled, and the ongoing tug-of-war over U.S. SPACECOM's location guarantees continued discussion and disagreement. What do you think? Is Huntsville's aerospace legacy a better fit for America's space defense future? Or should the established base in Colorado Springs be maintained for continuity and community stability? Share your thoughts and join the conversation.